In the tapestry of human lives, there are threads that seem to shimmer brighter, stories that resonate so deeply they touch our souls. Today we delve into one such tale, the story of Kelly Perkins, a woman who not only defied the odds but redefined them. Imagine waking up one morning with the world spread before you, full of promise and potential. You're strong, you're healthy, you're alive. And then suddenly the rug is pulled from under your feet. A doctor's verdict changes everything. Your heart, the very essence of your being, is failing. You've been given a choice: a life confined to hospital walls, or a risky gamble with fate, a heart transplant. In the year 1995, this grim reality was thrust upon Kelly Perkins. She was young, vibrant, and her life revolved around activities that many would envy: skiing, scuba diving, and hiking. These weren't just hobbies for her, they were an integral part of her identity. Then the diagnosis came like a thief in the night, stealing away her peace of mind. Her heart, the lifeline of her existence, was faltering. Kelly found herself at a crossroads. On one side, the comfort of familiarity, the known territory of her illness. On the other, the terrifying uncertainty of a transplant. The choice was monumental: stay where you are, or venture into the unknown. For Kelly, the choice was clear. It wasn't a question of whether she should proceed with the transplant, but when. The surgery was a resounding success, and Kelly awoke in recovery with a new lease on life, quite literally. A heart that wasn't hers began its rhythmic dance within her chest, a symphony of hope and second chances. The transplant was just the beginning. What followed was a grueling journey of physical therapy and emotional recovery. Kelly's body was learning to accept this foreign organ, to make it its own. Every step, every breath was a testament to her resilience. It was during this phase that Kelly encountered a new set of challenges. The medications that kept her body from rejecting the heart came with their own set of side effects, making each day a battle against fatigue, swelling, and the constant threat of rejection. However, Kelly was not one to surrender. Her spirit was forged in the fires of adversity. She understood that this new heart was not just a medical marvel, it was a gift, a chance at redemption, a ticket to a life that could be full of adventure once again. Her sights were set on the majestic mountains that had always beckoned to her. Mountains that were more than just geographical features. They were testaments to human endurance and triumph over nature's challenges. With each passing month, Kelly's health improved, and so did her spirits. The mountains were calling, and she was ready to answer. Kelly's first climb was a symbolic one. It wasn't about reaching the peak, it was about reclaiming her life. This initial climb was not about conquering the heights, it was about conquering her limitations. It was a small victory in a war that was just beginning. This journey instilled in her a sense of accomplishment that transcended the physical feat. It was a mental victory, a triumph of the human will over the confines of physical and emotional boundaries. From this point on, Kelly's life was no longer about the four walls of her house or the sterile confines of the hospital. It was about the boundless expanse of the sky and the welcoming arms of the mountains. Kelly's journey took her to Mount Kilimanjaro, the highest peak in Africa, a place that seemed almost mythical in its grandeur. As she ascended, the air thinned, the temperature dropped, and the landscape transformed into a barren yet breathtaking panorama. Every step was a test of her physical and mental endurance. The altitude, the terrain, the biting cold, all conspired to make her turn back. But Kelly was driven by an inner force that refused to be denied. She pressed on. Finally, as she stood atop Kilimanjaro, the world seemed to stretch out before her, a canvas of infinite possibilities. Her ascent of Kilimanjaro was not just a personal milestone, it was an inspiration to many. She proved that with determination and courage, one could conquer not just mountains, but any obstacle life threw their way. From the snow-capped peaks of Kilimanjaro, Kelly's path led her to Mount Fuji in Japan. This iconic volcano, revered in Japanese culture, was shrouded in mist and legend. Climbing it was not just a physical challenge, it was a spiritual journey as well. The well-worn paths up Mount Fuji were steep and treacherous. Each step demanded Kelly's full attention. The weather was unpredictable, shifting from brilliant sunshine to sudden downpours and chilling winds. Yet Kelly persevered. As she stood on the summit of Mount Fuji, gazing at the sea of clouds below, she realized that she wasn't just conquering mountains. She was conquering the limits of human potential. Reaching the summit of Mount Fuji was not just a personal victory for Kelly, it was a cultural milestone. She had walked a path steeped in centuries of tradition and symbolism. Kelly's journey continued to the heart of Europe, to the Swiss Alps, where the mighty Matterhorn stood like a jagged tooth against the azure sky. This iconic peak was not just a challenge, it was a legend. To climb the Matterhorn was to test one's nerve against the very forces of nature. The Matterhorn was notorious for its treacherous routes and unpredictable weather. Loose screes, sudden storms, and the constant threat of falling rocks made every step a gamble. But Kelly, ever the adventurer, was undeterred. With each handhold, with each foothold, she chipped away at the mountain's might, turning her determination into reality. Standing on the summit of the Matterhorn, Kelly was enveloped by a sense of achievement that was both humbling and exhilarating. She had conquered not just a mountain, but a symbol of alpine fortitude. With each mountain Kelly scaled, her story grew. She became a beacon of hope for many, proving that with courage and perseverance, one could overcome even the most daunting challenges. However, there was one more climb that loomed on the horizon, one that was not just a challenge. It was a testament to Kelly's indomitable spirit. El Capitan in California's Yosemite National Park. El Capitan was Kelly's ultimate challenge. This granite monolith rose sheer from the valley floor, a silent sentinel of time. Its name, aptly chosen, as it was considered the captain of the Sierra Nevada. To climb El Capitan was a test of not just physical endurance, but mental fortitude. The sheer verticality of the rock face, the countless pitons and cables anchored into the stone, the ever-present danger of a slip made it a daunting prospect. Yet for Kelly, it was a calling, a challenge that she had to answer. El Capitan became more than just a mountain for Kelly. It was a canvas on which she painted her story of resilience and determination. As she ascended, the world below seemed to fade away, leaving her in a bubble of concentration and grit. Then it happened. As Kelly rounded a corner of the rock face, she saw it, a natural heart-shaped cutout in the granite. It was as if the mountain itself had orchestrated this moment just for her. This serendipitous discovery turned Kelly's ascent into a symbolic journey. The heart-shaped cutout on El Capitan was more than just a natural formation. It was a message from the mountain, a validation of her spirit. It seemed to say, yes, you can. You are stronger than you think. You are braver than you believe. Standing on the summit of El Capitan, Kelly Perkins knew she had achieved something extraordinary. She had scaled one of the most challenging rock faces in the world, a feat that had humbled even the most experienced climbers. But for Kelly, it was more than a climb. It was a statement, a declaration to the world that with a new heart and an indomitable spirit, one could conquer not just mountains, but any challenge. The story of Kelly Perkins is more than just a tale of adventure. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Kelly didn't just survive her heart transplant, she thrived. She didn't let her condition define her. Instead, she turned her limitations into opportunities, proving that with courage and determination, one can achieve the seemingly impossible. Her journey is an inspiration to us all, a reminder that life, like the mountains she climbed, is full of challenges, but also full of opportunities for growth, discovery, and triumph. So the next time you find yourself facing a daunting challenge, remember the story of Kelly Perkins, the woman who climbed mountains after a heart transplant. Let her tale be your inspiration, urging you to push past your perceived limitations and embrace the adventures that await you. Life, like the horizon, is boundless. All you need is the courage to explore it. Subscribe for more inspiring stories.